Please be advised the following presentation may offend or upset some viewers. Breeders, corporate bookmakers, stewards, racing participants, including jockeys, trainers, racing media and non-bettors. Nothing on this show should be taken seriously other than the betting advice provided. This message is approved by the mailbag.com.au. By viewing this show, you lose all rights to complain or sue. Please enjoy the show. I'm safe.
We're safe. We're safe. Pistol, take us away.
Welcome to the Mailbag live, dangerous, unauthorised, whatever other adjectives you could use to describe us three locked in a room, powered by puntingform.com.au as always, the #1 database and form guide for racing. And of course, we will be hydrated at some stage, possibly tonight, possibly during the show. We're not sure yet, by Mountain Goat Lager. Jack Dickens, you are the captain of this ship. You're not hosting it, but you're the captain. And we'll begin today with a little segment called The Mail Is.
Well, the mail is that I slightly misbehaved and got us sacked by Betfair. We are no longer sponsored. This content is no longer sponsored by Betfair. I tweeted about their in-play markets not being sweet, which in my view, there have been a number of cases over the last 2 to 3 months which suggest they're not sweet. And given we promoted their in-play markets so heavily over the journey, I feel like we have to speak about when it's not, everything isn't perfect. We still love Betfair and bet in-play ourselves. The message is that you need to be careful betting in the last 400 metres of the race. There are people with faster fees than you have if you're watching Foxtel at home. Basically, I questioned them. They didn't like being asked the question in a public forum, so they've ended the relationship. We're not going to be silenced. We're here for the punter. We are punters. We're by punters. We're for punters. We're going to continue to use Betfair. We'll continue to talk about their data, and all of us will continue to promote and use the exchange. Yeah, that's about it. We move on. New sort of era for the Mailbag Live. Lots of opportunities. Hopefully we can create a lot of feedback through this sort of format and the show can evolve to the next level. Peter?
Yeah, it's a good point. This show is live and we want you to be at home to be part of it just as much as we are. So it'll be going live through YouTube, through Facebook and through Twitter. So if you do want to get in contact, you can. You can ask any questions. We're going to have guests on board as well. And hopefully we'll be able to evolve it over the coming weeks and really make it a show that not only we would want to watch and be part of, but also the people at home. We're trying to provide something a little bit different, a little bit out there, and we'll see how it goes. Show and tell to begin with news of the week. Now, further to what the mail is, just we had that a little bit before, but the mail is, or at least my mail, is that Sportsbet turned over more than $90 million last Saturday, and they and Betfair had their biggest day that they've ever had on record. The hot tip is that Sportsbet made just over 10% profit on turnover as well. Meanwhile, we here at the Mailbag collectively made more than that as a team in terms of profit on turnover. So I guess what we're trying to just point out is that racing is absolutely hooning at the moment, like it's beyond expectations. Boys, what do you make of it?
I think it's just the insight into how sick the country is as a whole and how much everyone here just loves betting. The rest of the country outside Victoria is running out of excuses as to why we continue to just bet and bet and bet. I don't know. What about you, Kels?
Yeah, I suppose with the pokey venues closed down in Victoria, I think you probably have seen, a little bit of that shoveled, into the racing industry. And if they happen to blow up in between now and being able to open again, that would be great for everyone. So I think it's good. I think it's good that we can talk about, other bookmakers and stuff as well. We're not sort of tied down to talking about one person and, just with Betfair stuff. I just wanted to touch on that earlier, that it's good that we could talk about it openly now. I missed the opportunity to say that, we don't have to sort of bow to sponsors.
The Mailbag
is what we do. So, it's great for racing. Bet more on racing. Blow the pokies up. It's great. Great for racing.
All right. Probably the other big news of the day and of the week so far, Hugh Bowman. We've just had an announcement from the New South Wales stewards over the last couple of hours that they concluded an inquiry opened on the 12th of September in respect to Hugh Bowman's riding Farnan in race 6, the run to the Rose. Bottom line, Hugh Bowman, 20-day suspension for running and handling. They've considered relevant matters in respect to penalty, including this was his first occasion that H. Bowman has been found guilty of a similar offence in over 20 years of riding. And the penalty is to be served during the Spring Carnival and includes 4 Group 1 races. Now, we actually spoke about this earlier on the Sydney preview show with Mark Sheen and Mark Roden, and we were all pretty much of the opinion that he would get off.
How many times have I got to tell you, Peter? What do the stewards hate the most?
I've got to be careful how I answer this, don't I?
Fast horses running fast. They hate it. They train them from a young age as apprentices. They tell them off if they go too quick. They've never, ever told anyone off for going too slow as far as I'm aware. And this is probably just another example of it. They're going to teach you a lesson. Therefore, you're basically just going to see slower tempos throughout racing, especially in Sydney now. I can't believe they've suspended him. I find it unbelievable. But I think there's a lot of people. Hugh will be sweet. He's got a lot of cash. I'm not feeling anything for Hugh, but I just think it's a joke. Typical of the sport.
Curly, what would you like to say? Curly, it's okay. You can have your say.
Am I allowed to say it? Am I allowed to speak about this? Have a look here. I don't want to say too much. I will say though, Pistol, you sound like Glenn Munsey reading tweets on air. Can't wait till you start reading some prices out and tell us a few market moves.
I think if I was speaking like Munsey, every now and then I'd have to do the old to just get everything across board. But that's my Glenn Munsey. I don't know.
It's a tough one. It's tough for the. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
New South Wales, was it Curls? Was it in New South Wales today? We saw the jockey on the mower.
What about that? The Narromine, there's a little bit of a slippery patch there at Narromine between the 8 and the 6, and G. Ryan's on the mower trying to cut the grass down. He must have had a moral later on in the day. One of the jocks has got on the mower and mowed it down to try and get the track
Find
back.
the lane.
It's a bloody tough one. Interesting what, Dom Byrne on Twitter on Saturday after, come out in defence immediately based on the times and figures to say that Hugh didn't go too quick. I'm pretty sure on Dom's bio on Twitter, it says he's on the board of the Racing Appeals Tribunal for Racing New South Wales, and he's jumped to the defence of Hugh as soon as it happened. It's an interesting one, but I don't know. Some might say that it's they might have got the original penalty a bit light for that interference that Hugh caused, and they just tried to tack a couple of weeks on to get him back or something, but I don't buy into that. The data says it's play on, and it's play on. I thought he was stiff.
The New South Wales stewards did include sectional analysis, and they also had a look into the betting as well. So I guess unlike what we often see south of the border, at least they made that known. Anyway, we'll crack.
Anyway, I'm glad I don't look at Queensland racing. We'd have no jockeys left. Sorry, Peter.
Fair bump. We'll get straight into the big one. Caulfield Race 8, the Group 1 Rupert Clark Stakes. Now, Jack Dickens has lost the plot entirely. So, look, we'll have a look at last year's replay to start with. Just try and check out the last 400 metres of that. We saw Dan Bowman and Declan Bates win with Be Good to Your Mother, who is trying to defend the title once more. Dicko, take us away.
It sort of was a beautiful training performance last year by Dan Bowman. He set it out as a target way ahead of time, just ticked over, put away races, led up to this. They went really, really quick. He had no weight. The horse that he's just behind him then, sort of holding him to the line, there's Age of Chivalry. Then you've got Streets of Avalon, Widgie Turfs up the inside. And that might have been Soci Bond, who's run an enormous race in the Mackay Deeper on Saturday there. They ran a 17.7 above the all-average benchmark figure in this race last year. That is enormous, as big as they get. It's bigger than like Cox Plates. It's really fast run race. They jump out of the chute at Caulfield and they need to get to position. And it's a grand final for many of them. So there's no one sort of taking a back seat. We'll just have a nice run here. It's mad. Everyone goes. There's good tempo normally. Jungle Cat won the year prior with an 11.8 above the all-average punting form benchmark. The year before was Santa Ana Lane, 13.6. And even 4 years ago, Bonorum to see Mar with a figure of 13.8. So good horses win this race. It's a fast run race. It's an honest race. And it's a good race to bet into historically.
All right, very good. Well, we do have our first guest on Mailbag Live coming up. We'll see if this works.
We don't know if it's going to work.
We're just a little bit delayed, so we'll just push on. It's live and dangerous. It's wonderful. What could possibly go wrong?
He's trying to call me on the phone, so we might be half off here.
Okay. Well, we're getting close anyway. We're getting close. You want to maybe flick him a text or something saying that he needs to call, or Walker will call him. Anyway, looking forward to the race, Curls. I guess from a West is Best self-interest point of view, Superstorm is double figures still available. He did come into as short as $7, I think, with Showmanship coming out, who's now out for the spring. Movers, punters for the Mailbag on at $15 as well with Superstorm. And the horse that Jack Dickens is trying to get a little bit of clarification with is Age of Chivalry, who's now into $9. Just be wary, of course, that one of the corporates, i.e. Sportsbet, has got 4 emergencies in this field. They will slug you for deductions as soon as the emergencies are scratched. So just keep that in mind. When we're doing the synthetic hold, we're not including their prices. So it's basically the best available prices, excluding Sportsbet for this race. Dickens, why do you like Age of Chivalry?
Well, we'll hopefully get Simon on to confirm, but it just smells to me like this is this horse's target. Maybe have one more run after this, but it's proven that it loves 400 metres Caulfield. It's an on-pace horse, just makes its own luck. It was slaughtered last up by D Lane. They went way too slow, gifted that good horse, which was favourite here. Showmanship, was it, Peter?
Yep.
The race there, and Showmanship was too good, and would have given it a really good shake here. With that horse out, I just think Age of Chivalry maps really, really well. We know it can run a big figure. It ran a 16.6 in this race last year. A little bit more weight, yeah, but drawn to get across. Don't know if they try and lead, but they'll definitely be in the first sort of bunch there. 400 metres at Caulfield, 3 wide's not awful, especially on speed. I think it's the bet in the race, but there's a stack of horses that sort of, if you like them, I can't tell you not to back it. Behemoth is going to get another really nice run, and it loved Caulfield, and it was absolutely blessed in run last start, but it likely will be again. Superstorm flying the barrier though. You try and map this race. There's Superstorm, Cascadian, Rohern, Madame Rouge, and Pretty Brazen are horses I quite like here as a setup. But that's when the gates they've drawn, I think how they're going to have to be ridden. They're going to have to be very, very good to catch anything that's got ability that sits in the first sort of bunch of horses here. I think the horses that profile to run big races is Tagaloa.
Yep.
It's going to get a good run. Busted and Young fly at Caulfield. This is where they're aiming it. It was green last start, but I think you can take, they're giving you a fair enough price here. The other horse is a young horse. It backs up real quick. I'm surprised Ollie's not riding this. He's riding Cascadian, but Banco. Very good last start at Flemington down the straight. Sort of lightly raced. Has a 12.2 peak figure, which is done recently. I think it's going to get a really, really good run. Might sort of sit in front of Behemoth, and I think it's going to run a big race. But I'll probably end up building a position around a few horses here. But if you're just having a one-off bet here, I'd be with Age of Chivalry each way for sure. Number 11. Okay.
What are we doing with the horse like Rykovic for Uncle Lindsay?
Lindsay goes good. Caulfield has a 12.5 peak figure, 10.8 peak figure his last 3 runs. So I think this is just a level too high for it. But I don't feel good about sort of penning anything Uncle Lindsay.
Big brave man too. Otherwise, Curls, do you have any thoughts or opinions? There's no Queensland form in this race, is there?
Madame Rouge might have ran. Did it run a place in the tie zone Stradbroke earlier in the year?
Yeah, I have found it. Just like where are they going to go from that draw? It's got a big SP plus brazen, pretty brazen. I looked to find it, but I just thought, where's it going to get to in the run? Doesn't want 400 meters. I think Pretty Brazen will get a better run than it, but still be so it could be 4 wide, if not 3 wide. There's angles everywhere here. This Rohern has got the Sydney form. It beat Funstar last start, but again, the map, I don't know where it'll get to.
Yeah, I'd say I'd be out the back just floating and trying to beg for a run. The interesting part of this race for me is the fact that there looks really strong speed up front, and whoever finds the front and possibly sits outside the leader, are these horses going to compound at some point in the straight and just cause a bit of a backlog, a bit of a wash going back through the field, in which case wider draws might be very well suited?
Yeah, which again is why I think Age of Chivalry is a tick there from the 13 and the 12. I think Banco from 7, he won't get too clogged away either. And same with Tagaloa to go with it.
All right, very good. We might have Simon Zara on the line. We'll see if we can patch him through. We'll see if this works. It's all brave and new. Simon Zara, can you hear us? Maybe not.
It looks like he's there.
Yeah, it says he's talking. And here's me trying to hit buttons as if that's going to do anything. Nah. Now, it does look like he is talking, but just the audio isn't coming through to us just at the moment.
Alistair McCook on YouTube just confirmed Rohern is staying in Sydney this week. Cummings confirmed that this morning. So that's some good information. Thank you, Alistair.
Yeah, exactly right. There's also a couple of other questions here. Serious questions. So the next jock on a front runner like Jungle Edge or Be Good to Your Mother goes too hard out in front. Should we expect consistency and see the stewards give someone a holiday?
Consistency and the S word, I don't think so. No, exactly right. We're giving up here on the great man?
I think we might have to. We'll investigate what...
Borko, what's the ruling?
We'll see what we can do in the short term anyway.
Maybe we can write an Everest promo or something.
It's a bit early for that, Curl, surely.
It's a very disruptive race. It's captured the young market. Yeah, it's disruptive.
And at least we don't have to hear about $5 tickets anymore. I don't know about you guys, but I've stocked up on a lot of $5 tickets over the last few months, just in case they ran out of them. And my shit has never been better placed. All right, Dicko, what other races are you looking at Caulfield? What are you happy to have a crack at?
I thought we'd have a look at race number 6, 400-metre race. Good race, nice horses, but they're probably not all like 100% trying here. I wouldn't be surprised if they're half negative on Cafe RIZU, who was a good winner at Flemington. Ollie sat 3 wide and got the job done there. AIDENSFIELD, I don't think they'll go forward. I think the map's close to right. It's race 6, right? So we've got a good idea of how the track's playing. Caulfield's been racing really well, but it can throw up a really mad sort of inside on-post bias. A little bit of rain today, but not much. I'll sort of wait till it comes before we predict anything here. But if the track races fairly, I think Mozzie Monster's a little bit too short. There's not a lot of form out of that other race at Bendigo where it won real well, but it was utterly blessed in run. That was a race where all the riders got out of the fence and just let Jake Carr just slot up the inside. I think number 6, Agreeable, is going to be a bet for us. Don't need to bet yet. Wouldn't bet now at all. I'd wait till I've seen 2 or 3 races at least. Happy to sort of take a little bit less if I know they can sort of run on. It was good 2 starts ago at Caulfield and did all it could do last start at Moonee Valley. There was just no way it could win from where it was. I think this horse is progressive. Probably heads to a Caulfield Guineas or something similar.
Okay. So current price is not that keen to play, but looking to bet agreeable.
Yeah.
All right.
If it raced on pace, I'll be looking to build a position around Melba Storm and even HINDAAM.
What are you doing with this AIDENSFIELD?
I shit my pants if it rolls forward, if I bet. I think AIDENSFIELD and Agreeable are the best horses in the race, but I just wouldn't be surprised if they're half neutral on AIDENSFIELD and takes away like its greatest asset, which is its like ability to roll forward and hit the line. Okay. I reckon it runs a good race, but I think Agreeable. I just wouldn't be shocked if D-Lane showed a little bit of intent. I just want to get a win with this horse. It's done 2 nice performances so far this prep. It needs to win, I think, to sort of build the reputation. I wouldn't be surprised if it rolled forward. To a degree, like sat like 4th pair back instead of dead last.
So it's a nice little race there, the J Maloney Stakes over the 1400. The last race, race 9, is the other one that you wanted to have a bit of a look at, the How Now Stakes over the 1200. We'll pop up the market and then the speed map for race 9. Dickens, Liar, bet or lay at $2.70 best available?
Could be a moral. Probably just wins. Camp flies at Caulfield. Camp's a proper camp. I think from 3 they can sit a little bit closer. The only way this thing loses if it's mad on pace, and if it is on pace, I think Felicia's the danger. The market's sort of got it that way anyway, but Liar was enormous. I just think it just wins this. I just think it just wins.
Okay.
It's my best bet at Caulfield on Saturday.
Full stop?
Yep.
Okay, good. It's time to go north, and we're talking far north, to Curly Country. Curls, where are we this Saturday? What's going on?
The main metropolitan meeting this Saturday moves to the Gold Coast, highlighted by Queensland's best 3-year-old filly, Kissikano, tackling the older horses. That'll be the highlight for the majority of racing people. For me, it'll be the Dolby Cup. Out west, I'll be heading out there, but I'm sure during the afternoon there'll be more eyes on Kissikano than what there will be at the Gold Coast and what there will be at Dolby, that's for sure.
What's the big deal with Kissikano?
Oh, she's the only horse that's beaten the Thriller from Chinchilla. These two, Kissikano met Rothfire at the Gold Coast in the Cutest Jewel. It was a rain-affected track that day. Kissikano sat outside it and kicked its teeth in. We know what Rothfire's done since, and we know what it's going to do, and that's win everything. And yeah, then this filly sort of stayed in Queensland and has been very impressive, including a last start track record at Eagle Farm. It's a big effort for an early season 3-year-old filly.
Okay, very good. So if Kissikano was racing Farman this week, it would brain it, surely?
Yeah, it would beat it. Yeah, Farnham would lead. He'd probably go quick on it, quick to the eye, but not necessarily quick to the data. And Kissikano would just tag along and then put it away at the furlong for sure.
All right. Look, we're going to try and get some comments from the trainer of that horse. But again, we're not sure if it would necessarily work. So we'll try. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Probably favourite not to work, but we're going to try our best and we're going to get better each and every week.
That's very progressive and well planned out. And you sounded like a father saying that.
Thanks, buddy.
No one waiting. Okay, so it doesn't look like that's coming to fruition either. All right, girls. So what price? What price are you happy taking here for this horse?
Well, I was really keen to get Michael on. I did speak to him on Saturday night. Kisakano did have a gallop in between races Saturday night at Toowoomba. Just a little pipe open and dash up 6. The Queen of Clifford Park, Sky Bogenhuber, did the steering. I'd only had one schooner at this stage, and I clocked its last 200 in 9.94. Probably expect that for a horse that's just dashing up 600, probably. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, she looked good. Look, the horse has had a lot of runs this preparation, and because of her bad barrier manners, it's been well documented. She's had to go back to the trials numerous times because she had a barrier band placed on her, so they've tried stallion chains and a few tricks. The last time was the blindfold that seemed to work well enough. And then she came out at the Gold Coast and absolutely blitzed them. My initial thought after that last start win was, she looked like she had enough on the line. And then I seen the time and they've broken the track record. Now, admittedly, Eagle Farm, we've had 4 different tracks in 4 years. So it's hard to know. I'm not sure exactly which time that lines up again, which is this renovation, the one last year or the one the year before that or the one the year before that. But, as far as it stands right now, she's ran the fastest 1200. And as I said, she's an early season 3-year-old. So huge performance. I have backed against her a couple of times. She got beat when Alex Pattis rode her this prep and didn't ride the
There's
fast.
some great questions. There's some great comments on YouTube.
About this horse?
Alistair McCook, 9.94 curls. Did you borrow the stopwatch from the Connections of Alligator Blood?
No, it was only dashed up 600. Like, you can expect that, a horse to be able to do that.
Yeah, Fred's watching in the sushi train. Good man. We've got
Dad said if you're a top class horse, you're dashing home in 9.94. If you're only just dashing up 200, surely.
Hey, I'm just reading out the comments, bro.
All right. I've totally lost my chain of thought. Righto, she's $1.55. Okay, so she's a 3-year-old filly taking on the older horses on Saturday. Now, Michael Nolan is no mud trainer. He's stable's going well at the moment. He's always produced a nice horse. I'm not old enough to remember because I'm only 33, but in the late 90s.
Man, a bullshit button.
In the late 90s, early 2000s, Michael trained a horse called Laurie's Lottery. So that horse was good enough to win a Todman Slipper trial at 2. I think Shane Dye hooked it in the... No, I didn't know. He didn't. It got beat.
Mate, we've got no edit.
It got beat. I was joking. It got beat in a Golden Slipper, then was good enough to run second in the Caulfield Guineas as a 3-year-old, and then went on to win the Group 1 Doomben 10,000. So he's always, had a decent horse. I'm pretty sure that he rates this one, pretty highly. I'm so disappointed he's not on because at this point now I'd be asking Michael how the horse is going, and then after he would tell us how good it was going, I'm going to say, well, it's an absolute lay on Saturday. Mick, it can't win. And then he would have called me a dickhead, and then we would have had a bit of back and forth. So I'm really disappointed he can't be here. Look, so early season 3-year-olds against the older horses before Christmas, is it a thing? It's got a bit against it here just on that. Some pretty seasoned sort of horses here. And I don't think it's going to get its own way. So Epic Girl's got the blinkers on. It's a front runner. It's got Tegan Harrison, who's aggressive jock. It's drawn wider than Kisakano. So I kind of expect Kisakano probably finds the fence first here if we're just looking at the map. You'll find Kisakano probably find the fence first. I think Epic Girl will cross it, or at least attempt to. So it presents Maddie Rocks with the PR. Horse is going well.
Is he back up from last week?
No. A couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's going well. It's the Dollars Dittman Chris Waller combination, which is, also going well. But there's another horse in the race that's massive odds. Spirit's Choice. Now, I've been banging on about this horse for months because it kept missing the start and doing things wrong, and then it come back to the jump outs at Toowoomba, and it pinged the lids, and it ran like a 925 jump out in as quick as you'll see, like quick as I'll see. Not that I've been around forever, but it was very quick. And then it went to town last start again, and it missed the start, but just noticed it flashing late. But we're going to get a price here because it's got an unfashionable jockey. It's currently $34. It's just that sort of race where I can see a little bit of tempo up front. They won't hand this race to Kisakano, and she won't be able to bully her way to victory here. I think she's massively under the odds at the current quote. She's a star, right? This horse is a star. To do what it did and break the track record, this horse is a genuine star. But just purely from a punting proposition and, you know, how deep she is into her prep and how many jump outs she had, she's going to be vulnerable at some point. And, you know, I'm sort of suggesting that this week, if it's going to go wrong, this could be the week.
So it's a little bit like last week with Alligator Blood. You know, we're sort of saying it's the best horse in the race by a mile, but there's bigger things ahead. That in that situation, it was looking further ahead. This horse has got its own convictions, and you think it's a risk.
Yep.
Versus the price.
It's Queensland's best filly, arguably Queensland's best horse because Rothfire can't beat her. So I would love to see it get a slot in the Everest. I had a question for Mick. Has he been approached for the Everest since it's the only horse that beat Rothfire? Disappointing that he couldn't be here to ask him, but anyway, just too short for me. I think it'll drift.
We've got one more race that you're keen to investigate, Curls, at Gold Coast in the first.
Oh, this is a sting, huh?
Is this a sting?
I don't know whether it's a sting.
Ooh.
I don't know whether it's a sting, but
we're not on.
Hey?
I'm not on. What is? Okay, this is live. This is donation. This is going to hemorrhage.
Hopefully the people who are out there watching have got their money in their accounts. Now,
trigger's ready. I've got dynamic up. I'd love to just watch it go here.
Well, I just noticed for those that can access it, I don't think Ladbrokes had like a money back second and third in the first four races at the Gold Coast Saturday. I think. I'd be using it here.
$20.
Or max bet's 50 or something in it. I don't know. Whatever.
I haven't got on my dynamic yet. I should maybe. No.
Free money's free money, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with race one here. I'm going to lay the 4 win and place. It's currently 280 to win. It can't win, I don't think.
Love it.
I think it's a squib. I thought it was gasping for air on debut, first up at the 1,000 and fell in. When I originally watched the race, I thought that they might have gone a bit quick on it. I took it. It was very short, off a nice trial, spruiky type trial. Not nature strip type spruik trial, but definitely spruiky sort of trial. And then went to the 900 and it was not savaging the line. So I just can't see how they think they can lead and win here. And if they don't lead, it's going to be probably parked outside the leader. And I'm just against it massively. There's nothing on the data that suggests that this horse is anywhere near a 280 chance. This could start $4 plus. I'm thinking that the 5 is a genuine 1,200 metre horse. So last start resumed, sat behind Mashani Miss, who was sort of, bustled to get to the lead. And once it got to the lead, was able to get a breather and then really dashed off the corner. Sort of better than best, sort of was behind the leader, then sort of come out in a position to sort of get into clear air on 3 deep. And while he was making that move, the leader's booted and looked like it sort of dropped him. I didn't mind its work late. It was first up. It's got a good figure second up.
You love the Sears camp.
Love the Sears camp. I reckon this will lead. And I reckon it'll take a power of beating, and the only horse that can beat it is Mashani Miss. I think Better Than Best will cross it. I think it'll find the fence. I think Mashani Miss will then take the position behind it. There's a little bit of a weight swing, which is probably it's not an overly stated. It's probably a bit overstated. I just got a message here to ring Michael Nolan. My secretary just passed it. I mean, my wife just passed it to me. Ring him now. He didn't want to answer an unknown number, he reckons.
Queensland Racing, it's the best ever. Why don't you call him on speaker? Let's try that.
Get Borko to try again if we can, because he's ready.
All right, well.
He's going to spray me now. I've already played the horse. Now he's just going to get on here and spray me.
They've got
to call in. All right. Very good.
All right. So anyway, that's my bet in race 1. I'm keen to back the 5. I think it can lead. I think the Mashani Miss will sit on its back, and I think Adventurine will be parked outside them. That's a bet. That's going to be a betting race for sure.
That's Gold Coast Race 1, number 5, Better Than Best, $7.50, 365 Sportsbet and Ned's $7 at the tab. 2 Smart Top Sports, $6.50. Do your best, boys. It'll probably go off.
We can probably chop out the 1 when it gets out a little bit. It'll get out a little bit possibly, but there's a big wrap on the 1 from the camp. But yeah, I just think that this five's very, very well suited second up.
All right, like it.
Should we punch some viewer questions out, then go west?
Yeah, I think so. What have you got?
Well, there's a stack on YouTube. That's the only one I'm looking at.
Yeah, all right, good.
Isn't that what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah, well, that's what you said earlier, so I don't know. You do you, bro.
You do you, bro. All right, Jackson. Our man Jackson, how do you guys deal with horses who have a big spike on the punting form data, e.g. Octane, who improved 12.3 lengths, still hurts, front paid 18.8 lengths. Do you expect horses who have a big spike to rate down next start, so to come back down next start? Curls, kick us off.
I can only talk about...
Hang on, actually, I'll just clarify what that question means, because Jackson's quite an elite gambler.
Mr. Drifter.
The figure, the big figure means like it's a rating for how fast the horses run. So the bigger the figure, the better it's run. So it's a group that these 2 horses have run group times, but they didn't have group times on their CV leading into these races. So how did the next time they come out, how are we going to handle that? Curls.
Yeah, I suppose I can only talk about Queensland and you know, what I do, I suppose, is if it's too good to be true, it very possibly can be. So I dig a little deeper, and that's Queensland.
Pistol?
I've got a couple of different angles with this. I think if a horse PBs with a spike first up, and I'm always wary of it, just whether or not the horse was doing it because it was a bit fresh and then it will come back down second start and then subsequently. I also will view a spike performance on a wet track or at a track where the horse typically runs. So in WA, if the horse all of a sudden spikes at Belmont out of nowhere, I'm very wary of that, because potentially it could have just been a one-off, especially if previous results would indicate that it's not necessarily in the horse's arsenal to record a figure of that level. So there's a couple of ways you can interpret it, but there's no real right answer, is there? And I guess with a horse like Octane, you couldn't necessarily sack it from that one start at Flemington, because it could have been produced in a scenario down the straight, higher tempo, hasn't seen it before. That could explain why there was an increased performance, but you couldn't necessarily sack it going forward if it's going down the straight at Flemington again.
That's that's really important. So sometimes you'll see horses like Stanley's horse coming round, got beaten at Swan Hill, came to Flemington, was backed like it was a good horse, and it had done nothing to suggest it was. But in the faster run race, they can only run the big figure if they run faster than 600.
Yeah.
So when it was exposed to a faster run race, it ran a bigger figure. if the horse hemorrhages and runs a big figure, I think that's sus, and it's probably going to rebound back to a shitty figure. But some horses will just enjoy and relish a faster run race. So the higher they go, the better they get.
I reckon that's a real good one to keep in mind too, particularly when you're doing the provincial stuff, because you get a lot of those, jump, find position, walk along, and then dash up. And if you're betting in a maiden, for example, you're looking for those horses that have got a figure that can. Queensland particularly, anyway, they're very even sort of figures. What you need to do to produce a maiden victory, and it does get confusing when you just get those sort of slowly run races, and like you say, they can't run the figures. You're looking at last 600 sectionals and figures, but you sort of expect horses to run quick off slow lead times. So I do like those fast run races for form references. It just certainly sorts the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah, so like the horse at the moment, like Russian Camelot, was 4 wide on a moderate tempo, but it got home but as good as any other horse in that race. So despite that shitty run, it still just got through the line. So all you can do is tick that run. You can't sack it. Whereas if any horse that sort of sat on that good speed and had, if Fierce Impact had it, that like a Fierce Impact run and didn't get through the line, then it's a bit limited. And then when Russian Camelot gets a faster tempo next start, it's another test for that horse. And the market will decide if they think it's going to be able to do it or not. Should I get some more questions out, I guess?
Yeah, if you got one.
Jack Zuber, I think a couple of others asking about Simon Zara, Age of Chivalry. He's texted me the answers, so get your pens out.
Good.
I apologise for our technical failings. I said, all we really want to know is what are you backing? He said, pens out. This is information I'm going to keep to myself.
Hang on.
Divine Diosa, Zoosonic, Forever Free, and Age of Chivalry, punters. Those 4 horses are at their cherry ripe. He's betting. So there's 4 horses: Divine Diosa, Zoosonic, Forever Free, and Age of Chivalry. I was going to ask about Zoosonic because he's put D Moore on, who I think does a lot of track work for him. And it might be the 3rd favourite for theirs in that market at Caulfield. I forgot what race it is. Divine Diosa in race 1, it's $8 in race 1.
Has he just thrown out every horse that he's taken to Caulfield?
He said he's never had a better, they'll never have a better, lot of horses go to the races. Ever.
Like it.
That's what I thought would have him on.
Forever, ever.
Yeah, so in race 5, they've got Palmy, which I would have been pretty keen to back. So You Swing, Luke Curry rides. That's the horse that Alana Kelly got the flappy arms at Sandown when we were on. We were also on the next start when it won, but me, we were on at $28 or something that day at Sandown. And Zeus Sonic's $11. D Moore rides there in race number 5. Forever Free, I think, is in race number...
Race 3.
Race 3, sorry.
Marginally favourite.
And then Age of Chivalry, $9 chance in the Sir Rupert Clark race number 8. We're with it. He's with it. Geez, it'd be pretty big now if it wins.
Yeah, love that all-in price from Tuesday. Crystal Ball.
Woo. G Hall, RSN Central.
It was a good day with Gareth. Outstanding. I was going to do my Gareth impression, but I don't want to get off to a bad start on the first show that we're going live. What are we off to next? West?
West is best, bro. Or should I do some more questions?
No, we'll go West is best, and we'll let the...
We'll finish off with the sting. We'll finish off with the sting.
Oh,
there's another sting. That wasn't the sting.
No, we've got a sting.
Have we got a time for the sting? Shall we go at 6:49? Ready the engines. Get ready to bet.
Oh, there's no markets yet, so just like first in best dressed. Whoever gets on Bet365, can they sling me some, please?
Oh, outstanding. All right, Belmont. Really nice little card, but more nice in terms of there's some good ponies returning. So some seriously, decent horses for fans of the Cerise and White, there's a couple that are returning. One's Western Pride, which ran around, I think, last on Bulldozer Day, I think it was, maybe. And then there's one called Celebrity Queen, which is just a really nice progressive horse. I'm not sure that any of these horses are bets, mind you. They've all gone up pretty skinny, which is typical for the Cerise and White. But the race I want to focus on is race 9, which is a staying event. There's no pike, which is great because it means we're actually getting prices across the board. There's a horse called Gonna Go for Mitchie Pateman, which is just...
You love Mitchie Pateman. You're a massive Mitchie Pateman man.
Look, I preferred Mitchie when he had the blonde hair, and he's now shaved it off, which is a little bit disappointing because I think you've got to have good salad, or at the very least awful salad, to make it in this world. You know, if you don't rock around with decent hair, you're not going to attract women. And if you're not going to rock around with awful hair, then you're not going to attract anything. You're just going to be nothing.
Salad's rig.
No, salad is hair, mate.
I think salad's rig.
We'll put it to a vote. Who reckons salad is rig? Who reckons salad is hair?
and James F. Allpress, he's our man from the chat group. Yeah. I'm watching his messages, and most of them have to get approved. any of the regular sort of diehard Mailbag subscribers in the chat room will know why.
Look at it lighting up. They're all going hair. Salad is 100% hair from Crookie. Oh.
I don't have a rig and I'm losing my salad, so I don't care. You've got a don't care option.
Oh, what were we talking about?
What about James? Just touching on James again. I love chiming into that. Not chiming in, but you tip a winner, so you just get in the chat and see what the boys are saying. And I feel like I've sponsored a little bit of James's nocturnal activity. Bloke's off his head. Love it.
I hope he's not living in Victoria.
He's living the dream. That's what he's living.
Yeah. he's on fire.
Where's Walshy? Well, just didn't want to put too much pressure on Walshy live first week. See how we go. He's definitely going to be part of the show. He's part of the Mailbag.
Walshy's on the Area 51 live stream, isn't he?
Well, that's what another bloke said. He said he's somewhere in Melbourne chasing the greys.
That's wrong with that bloke.
Yeah, salad is here. All right, lesson learned.
All right, good.
I didn't play a lot of cricket past 18. It's cricket chat.
I think it's just general life chat, isn't it?
Well, not in my life. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, good.
When I listened to the Great Cricketer podcast though, for the last year, I thought they were talking about rigs.
You've got to go back to the start now. Everything's out of context. All right, where were we? Belmont, last race, no pike, but there is Mitchie in the last. Look, Gonna Go last start had a really strong SP over most of this bunch, over half the field basically. It's currently marginal or equal favourite depending on which corporate you're looking at. Special shout out to the TAB, which decided to put up Belmont markets at 10-5 on a Thursday for Saturday racing. I mean, it just shows what a joke WA racing is really when it comes down to it. No minimum bet laws. Why the fuck should we bother putting up a market in the first place? Just doesn't matter. You can't get on anyway. Anyway, Gonna Go was held up at a crucial time. The field compacted on the turn, lost momentum, didn't have full momentum in the straight, finally got out, sort of still loomed and then peaked late. I'm pretty confident that the horse will be able to turn that around just from gate 3. It's got a couple of horses that don't have too much gate speed from inside it. So Mosseratti and Fancy Fox. So you have a look at the speed map and there's a whole heap of back markers that have drawn wide. So there's no reason that Gonna Go should have to go right back towards last year. If you can just settle midfield, just get a nice little cozy run in transit. I think he's clearly going to be strong through the line. He's got that grouse Montalina form as well, which is just, you know, I've got to get something to get me up and about now that she's out for a few weeks after stepping in the trench. But anyway, what can you do? The horse I'll be having something on as well, although it's shortened in because why wouldn't it when it's just a classic liquidity? It's just magnificent. So Aconite went up $9. It was $7.50 or so. The TAB has gone up $6. And so everything's just shortened and followed suit. Great. We'll be having something on Aconite late because I'm pretty confident the market will take it on to a certain extent, just given the job. Chris Graham's on board. For those following along at home, Chris Graham was the jockey who was suspended when everyone thought that Push and Shapes, which hadn't won a race in 3 years, was magically going to win from last. It still hasn't won since.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, you know, everyone went and tortured Chris Graham for the best part of his of this year, and still Push and Shapes hasn't won a race since. So anyway, he's on Aconite. I think the market will take him on to a certain extent, just given that he's in the saddle. But I think it's a horse that you have to at least save on, if not back both, for a result there in the last at Belmont. Is it sting time? It's 6:50. Let's sting it. All right, girls, what do you got?
Well, I'm trying to get, so part of the reason of getting Michael on the phone, not only to talk about Kisakano. Oh, Mick, hang on. We're live here. I just want to see if the boys can hear. Can you boys hear that? Yeah, they can hear it. Are you what? You so we're live now. You didn't happen to hear what I said about your horse earlier, did you? I kind of said that I thought it could get beaten and it was too short. I was going to bet against it. And
you potted it once before that I know of, so I'm sort of taking that as probably a plus.
Yeah, I'm not the best judge with Queensland's best horses. I said earlier to the boys that I reckon that I clocked her running 9.94 her last furlong Saturday night. What can you give us like the last word on her going into Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably quite accurate in saying that. We only did her off the thing on Facebook on the page, and we got her at 10.3. So you know, I think it was around the 10 mark, maybe just a fraction over 10. And obviously that's as quick as I've seen her go. And obviously she got up there and she thought she was at the race, different things, and it switches them on. So I haven't seen one finish off that quick at Clifford Park for a fair while.
There's nothing good enough for Clifford Park to finish off that quick, Mick, probably.
No, we just watched the Class 1 mile.
Yeah. Well, they did go out 8 lengths quicker than average in the Class 1 mile, and play on was the call.
Yeah. They didn't look to be going that quick in the straight in the Class 1 mile.
No doubt. Yeah, you haven't had an Everest slot inquiry, have you?
No, we haven't. Shane, I got asked about that today by a jockey manager in Sydney, and no, we haven't, because we haven't even gone down that path. Of course, we did with Rockfire and all that early days, but we always had these other filly races in mind as a 3-year-old filly, and obviously if we perform Saturday at the coast, and you know, and she won well and had to be convincing and all that, we would definitely head to Sydney for the Flight Stakes in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And then, you know, look, if she went well in that or won that, obviously that's over a mile, so it's, you know, a long way longer than the Everest. But I think that'd be her grand final. That'd be a long way better option than taking on, say, Rockfire and just stripping those sort of horses at this stage of her career. You know, I'm not saying she might go into it, but now she's only a young filly. I wouldn't think it'd be the right thing to do.
It's good that Rothfire's recovered from your filly kicking its teeth in anyway. That's good. What about I mentioned earlier about Laurie's Lottery and what you're able to do with him. Where does this horse rate against him at this stage of their careers?
Obviously, you always get asked that when you've got a decent horse, and you know, Laurie's was a benchmark horse at 2 and 3. You know, and he won the 10,000 at 3. You know, we took him down to Sydney for the up and coming. He went to Melbourne at the end of that program when he was half tied, and we ran him in a Caulfield Guinea, which he led all the way in. Got beat on the line. You know, Laurie's was a very, very good horse and suffered a bit of illness and soreness issues all through. I think if I had Laurie's now and had the knowledge that I've got now on how to treat them and how to get a horse, like keep a horse up for longer. I reckon Laurie's would have been a multiple Group 1 winner, not just one.
Yeah.
So he's a fair way ahead of this filly.
Yeah, she's got a fair way to go then.
Laurie's would have been an ideal Everest horse. You know, if as I said, if things didn't go wrong after his 3-year-old year, you know. Yeah.
Right. So look, we don't want to take up all your time talking about one horse. You've got a team in Saturday. The team's flying now. I'm still a little bit dirty from last Saturday night because you've tipped one locally around the track to a few blokes, and you were laughed at, and it's led and pissed in at $21.
I only threw it out to blokes on the text or that had text. I didn't actually text anyone to say it's actually a tip, and I normally give Peter, my brother, some decent mail at times to him and his cronies down the Bronx and that, but I didn't send it out, but I only said to people say, hey, what's your best today? And my best was obviously Dirty Canoe and some of my owners and Ned Taylor in Melbourne who's a tried and true supporter all had their little bits each way and the odds were unbelievable. I couldn't believe that, really.
Yeah, no, I can't believe it either. So this Saturday, while everyone's looking at the Gold Coast, you're sneaking a team out to Royal Dalby. Now, I know how much you like Dalby. I've had a look at your stats out there, Mick. They're shit house. You haven't trained a winner out there for 2 years. You haven't sent many out, though, in fairness. You haven't sent that many out. Are you sending one out there this Saturday that we can sort of maybe have something on?
Yeah.
Hello. Is this this is a bet?
Yep. I've got a filly in the maiden called Short Zara. She's had a run at Ipswich, went round the outside fence, and then she was at the coast, through the outside, went round the outside fence, got interfered with. So she's had 2 not even placed runs, but again, she's drawn wide at Dalby, but I just think if she jumps clean and goes to front, I really, really can't see him beat that.
Okay. Now this is the horse that went to Ipswich and Alex Pattis rode on debut and went to go forward and went to go back and sat deep in it. This is the same horse.
Yeah, same horse. She's at Mozara Billy. She's nice, and she just we were very confident of her winning at Ipswich that day, like real confident. Did our dough, and then went to Gold Coast against that thing at Tony, who I think was just a class above him, a non-invincible horse, and it won accordingly. Like,
I remember.
Put a gap in him, but it'll be a strong maiden at the time. Was quick, and she just had none from start to finish. Dolby's just a different ball game.
This horse got beat 9 lengths last start. It's got the outside gate with a 4-kilo apprentice, and you've labelled this leading and winning. This is outstanding. This is the sting for the Saturday sting. Short Sarah at Dalby.
Yeah, I'm just so sure of it. Just her work and how she's been stable, and she's got blinkers first time Saturday, which she's probably needed twice, but we just sort of teach her a bit before we do it. But Saturday, I just can't see beating her at all.
Beautiful. Appreciate that, Mick. Good luck Saturday with Kisakano. She is Queensland's best filly. We all think she's a beauty, and we hope she wins for you. Even though I labelled her to lay at the price, it might drift out. And but expect her to win and go to Sydney. The Queensland form stacking up in Sydney. So thanks for the mail for Dalby. We really appreciate it. Good luck Saturday. And hopefully we're having a beer somewhere Saturday night or something to celebrate.
Thanks, Shane. Thank you, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, Mick.
Mick Nolan, outstanding. We got our first sting and we can't bet on it just yet. So I'm sure everyone's just been smacking in, setting timers. The
James
Allpress race alert.
James Allpress is at it again. Josh Steen, probably my favourite comment. Still talk about salads and how well she hasn't got much salad left.
And said his rig sucks as well. So he's just gone the double barrels there at Walshy. Love it.
Josh is a young, big throbber, so he can say whatever he wants. I had another question about the snow mail. Here it is.
Ooh.
Pen's out again. I've just texted him. He gets a lot of good oil out of the Lees camp. Newcastle Cup over the next 2 days. This is tomorrow. Newcastle, race 3, number 3, best bet. Newcastle, race 5, number 2. Newcastle, race 6, number 1. And Geelong, race 8, number 14 tomorrow. So I'll actually run my eye over that one for us right now.
Can we have those numbers again?
Yeah, I'm going to have to write it down on the goat. Go for it.
Newcastle, race 3, number 3. Newcastle, race 5, number 2. Newcastle, race 6, number 1. Then we head to Geelong tomorrow. These are all tomorrow. Race 8, number 14 for probably his best mate, Nick Ryan.
Oh,
Spencer-Rato, who is again being ridden by Reece McLeod, who absolutely slaughtered it at Mornington the other day when we were on. Hemorrhage there. It'll probably hemorrhage here again. I thought Wherever Falls the favourite for Craig Williams, and see Wallaby hard to beat. But there you go. Nick Ryan, race 8, number 14 in Geelong tomorrow. What's next, Pete?
Very good. Let's just scoot around. Do we have any best values, any best lays from the team?
Well, there's no more lays, mate.
We can do whatever you want. You do you.
My best, Caulfield, race 9, number 6, Liar. I think it just win. My value is race 8, number 11, Age of Chivalry. Big push from Simon Zara via the text just then. Unfortunately, we couldn't have him on the show, but they're keen. I'm keen. God give it strength. I think Superstorm will be the strongest of the ones that run on from the back. Pete and I are on it too. So that's mine. Curls?
I think the lay is in the first at the Gold Coast on Saturday, number 4, Adventurine. It'll start a bit longer than what it currently is, though. If you could define much value, or I want to say value, like something I think is massive overs. In the staying race there, I think it's race 7. No, it's race 9, is it? Race 9 at the Gold Coast, a staying race, a horse that we've been on a couple of times previously at a decent price was number 1, Happy Go Plucky, and number 4, Glen Ord. They both come up against the up-and-comer Get Your Grey On, which was a good win last start that sort of got caught wide and circled and went to the front and won okay. Just because of the way that horse won and the numbers that it tossed up on that win, it was like a pretty exposed win because it did a bit of work, and so that's sort of like showed what it could do. And it's not quite good enough to warrant being favourite, I didn't think. And I thought Happy Go Plucky and Glen Ord both over the odds in that race.
All right, very good. Dicko, what are you laughing at?
Al Steen reckons the quickest thing in Queensland was the border closure.
Also the best thing. Keep you vermin out.
Hashtag West is best.
Just while we're on best bets from the team, I got a text message from Cam Dean, our man who does the AFL, to the mailbag.com.au.
Hasn't he launched here? Isn't this exciting? The mail he sent out earlier today. Oh.
Can you read it out? It's real flary.
We're talking the multi, yeah?
He's just big on the overs when the sting's out of the contest.
Yeah,
which makes it makes a lot of sense. The sting's out of the contest, so they're going to sort of like relax a little bit.
The old bruise-free football starting tonight with North Melbourne, my team playing West Coast. One last game. Just get out of the way. I'm not even going to watch it. I've seen probably half an hour of my team play all year because they've been shithouse. Do I care? No. I'd rather bet and do form for Northern and Hong Kong and wherever else they're racing. Mauritius. Yes.
And pound the tan.
Pound the tan. Nothing like it. If you're not coming back with sand in your shoes, you haven't gone enough. My best, I think Classique Legend starts favourite in the shorts at Randwick. I can't have Bivouac being favourite just given the map. Like, where's Bivouac getting to? He's going to be riding in whatever state. No one knows. He could do anything, Bowman, on the weekend. Classique Legend's trialled really well. It's got the first up figures. I think it starts favourite. Classique Legend. Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's us done for the first and hopefully not the only Mailbag Live. It's time to watch the footy. I'm going to order some mass food from the Beast of Brunswick, which I can make a strong recommendation here. The poutine, so chips, cheese curds, gravy. They use some sort of bone broth gravy. It is the greatest hallucinogenic that you can have that is legal. I think I've got a strike rate of 85%, just weird, crazy dreams after eating this shit. And trust me, it is worth it. So smash them now. Open a goat. We got a bet in the West Coast North game? I don't think we do we? We're on the overs.
Yeah, we do. Overs. Back the overs tonight, punters. That's what we're doing. We're on the overs. You should be too. Should we get through any more viewer questions? We want to encourage the interaction. Stuart Rafferty, I reckon Russian Camelot's legitimate. 100% legitimate. Time will tell. Haven't really been monitoring the Facebook or the Twitter, have we?
No, that's okay. We'll get used to it next time.
We'll get better every week, guys. We're just like sort of learning as we go.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll look forward to being here, hopefully a little bit more professionally next week. But until then, if you want any of our products, go to the mailbag.com.au, as Dickens would say. Rob Scurry is flying and will be probably indulging in some of his wine to celebrate another weekend. We'll see if Sportsbet has another record this Saturday. I'm sure they will, because they're just like lapping it up. So anyway, if you want to try and beat Sportsbet, join us.
If you've got an idea of how we can help fund this content, jack@themailbag.com.au. Reach out. See you soon.